Ladies and gentlemen, friends, let me ask you, have you ever paused in the stillness of the early morning hours when the world is asleep and found yourself alone with your thoughts? Have you ever experienced the power that can be harnessed in those quiet moments between 3 and 5 a.m.? Now, some of you may be wondering, why 3 to 5 a.m.? Why these specific hours? Well, my friends, in the dead of night, while the world rests, there is a peace that transcends our understanding, a silence that speaks louder than anything you will hear during the hustle of the day. It is in those moments when the stars above are the only things watching, when everything is still, that the soul can be renewed, our minds can be cleared, and our spirits can find strength. Let me tell you something important. The early morning is a time for self-reflection, a time when distractions are at their lowest, and when we can hear the voice of purpose in the quietest parts of our hearts. If you want to find peace, if you want to build a future founded on purpose and determination, do this between 3 and 5 a.m. Rise early. Why? Because it's in those hours that you can reconnect with your greatest potential. You see, when most of the world is asleep, you're awake. Awake to the possibilities of a brand new day. Awake to the greatness that is stirring within you, just waiting for the chance to be realized. At this time, there is no noise, no rush, no distractions. Your mind is uncluttered. This is your opportunity to dedicate yourself, to seek wisdom, to pray, to read, to write, to dream, to connect with your Creator, to open your heart to the guidance that awaits. So I encourage you, take those early hours and do something meaningful. Start by giving thanks. Begin with gratitude for the gift of a new day, for the chance to grow, for the breath in your lungs, and the life that continues to unfold. But don't stop there. Use this time to set your intentions for the day. Plan, organize, reflect. It is in these quiet hours that we can lay the foundation for a victorious day, for a productive day, for a day of purpose. The world is full of distractions, and the noise of everyday life will seek to drown out your calling. But in those early morning hours, you have the opportunity to listen to the still small voice that can lead you toward greatness. And don't forget the power of self-discipline. Let's face it, it takes discipline to rise early. It takes effort to choose that path of quiet over the comfort of sleep. But it is in those moments of discipline that true transformation begins to take root. Every hour you wake early, every time you choose productivity over procrastination, every moment you spend strengthening your mind, body, and spirit, you are building a foundation that will carry you toward success in every area of your life. You may feel like no one sees your efforts in those early morning hours. You may feel like the world is asleep, that you are alone in your pursuit. But know this, those hours are not wasted. What you do in those quiet moments will echo through the rest of your life. So I urge you, don't let the time slip away. Between 3 and 5 a.m., rise. Give yourself the gift of purpose, of prayer, of reflection. Seek the strength to face whatever the day holds. And remember, when you give yourself these precious hours, you're not just investing in your success, you're investing in your peace, your clarity, and your joy. God bless you, and may you rise early to meet the fullness of the life that awaits you. The stillness of the early hours between 3 and 5 a.m. offers a unique kind of peace that is rarely found during the hustle of the day. While the world sleeps, there is a rare opportunity to be alone with your thoughts, free from the distractions and noise that often cloud our minds. This is a time when the mind can become clear, when the heart can listen, and when the soul can be nourished. In these precious hours, clarity has room to emerge, unencumbered by the rush and chaos that typically consume our daily lives. The ability to find clarity in these moments is a gift, a moment of quiet, that allows us to hear what is most important without the interference of the outside world. When you rise in the early morning, it is as though the fog begins to lift. The distractions of the day have not yet arrived, and the chaos of life has not yet begun. The mind is at its freshest, and there is an openness that allows us to see clearly, to think deeply, and to set a course for the day with intention. In the quiet of the morning, you can hear the voice of purpose more clearly. There is no rushing. There are no immediate demands on your time. In these moments, you can center yourself and focus on what truly matters. your vision, your goals, and your path forward. We are often so caught up in the demands of life that it becomes difficult to think beyond the immediate tasks and obligations that fill our schedules. We tend to live in a state of constant motion, bouncing from one responsibility to the next without taking the time to pause and reflect. It is in those early hours when the world is still and the mind is not yet cluttered with the day's worries that we can reconnect with ourselves and gain perspective. The peace of the morning offers us a reset, a chance to see things as they are and to reorient ourselves before the rush of the day takes over. In these quiet moments, the clarity we find allows us to set more focused, intentional goals. When we begin our day with purpose, we are more likely to stay on track, make meaningful progress, and avoid the distractions that can derail us. The morning hours provide a sacred space where we can reflect on what we truly want to accomplish and why it matters. In this clarity, we can sift through the noise of life and focus on the most important things. We are no longer reactive, simply moving through the motions, but proactive, taking control of our day from the very beginning. Clarity in these moments is not just about organizing our thoughts or making plans. It's also about gaining a deeper understanding of ourselves. When we rise early, there is an opportunity to listen to our inner voice, the voice that often gets drowned out by the busyness of our lives. The world demands much from us, but in these early hours we can listen to what our hearts need, what our minds are truly yearning for. We can ask ourselves important questions about the direction of our lives, the choices we are making, and the kind of person we want to become. These moments offer us the chance to realign with our values and priorities, to reaffirm our commitment to living a life of meaning and purpose. Moreover, this time provides an opportunity to nurture our spiritual clarity as well. For those who seek guidance from a higher power, the early morning hours are a sacred time to pray, meditate, and connect with something greater than ourselves. This connection can bring a sense of peace that transcends the everyday struggles and challenges we face. It can help us gain a clearer sense of direction and purpose, grounded in faith and conviction. In the silence of the morning, we can hear the whispers of wisdom and receive the guidance we need to navigate the day with confidence and grace. As we cultivate the practice of rising early, we begin to recognize that clarity is not something that comes easily or automatically. It is something we must seek and nurture. In a world filled with constant stimulation, it is easy to become distracted and lose sight of what truly matters. But by setting aside the early hours to focus inwardly, we can regain our sense of direction and clarity. This time is an investment in our own well-being, an opportunity to clear away the mental clutter and make space for the thoughts, ideas, and goals that are most important to us. The beauty of rising early for clarity is that it allows us to take charge of our day before the world begins to impose its demands on us. The sense of calm and focus we cultivate in these early hours sets the tone for everything that follows. It allows us to approach our day with a clear mind, knowing exactly what we want to achieve and how we intend to do it. This clarity, this sense of purpose, can carry us through even the most challenging moments of the day. When we begin with a focused mindset, we are less likely to be derailed by distractions or setbacks. We approach our tasks with intention, and we are more equipped to handle whatever comes our way. In these hours, there is also the opportunity to be intentional about how we spend our time. Often we drift through our days without consciously choosing how we use our time. The demands of life pull us in various directions, and we end up reacting rather than acting with purpose. But when we rise early and make time for reflection, prayer, or meditation, we are actively choosing how to direct our energy for the day ahead. We are not letting the world dictate the flow of our time. Instead, we are asserting control over how we will spend our hours and what we will prioritize. The clarity gained between 3 and 5 a.m. is not just about mental focus. It's also about emotional and spiritual alignment. When we take time to reflect and center ourselves, we become more in tune with our inner needs, desires, and aspirations. This internal alignment allows us to approach the day with confidence, knowing that we are moving forward with purpose and authenticity. We become more attuned to our emotions, allowing us to navigate the challenges of the day with greater resilience and peace. Finally, it is important to recognize that the clarity gained in these early hours is a practice. It is not something that simply happens once and is then gone. It is something that must be cultivated and nurtured over time. The more we commit to this practice of early rising, the more we will experience the benefits of clarity, focus, and direction in our lives. It becomes a habit, a ritual that grounds us in our purpose and allows us to navigate the complexities of life with a clear sense of vision and intent. In a world that is often loud, chaotic, and filled with distractions, the early morning hours offer a refuge, a sanctuary of peace and quiet that enables us to reconnect with ourselves and our purpose. It is in these moments that we can find the clarity we need to move forward, to set goals, to align ourselves with our values, and to step into the day with a renewed sense of direction. The early hours hold within them the power to transform our mindset, to focus our energy, and to set the stage for a day of meaningful action. This is a time of deep potential, if only we choose to rise and embrace it. Waking early takes effort, it requires discipline, and it calls for a commitment to something greater than just sleep. In a world that often prizes convenience and comfort, it can be easy to choose the path of least resistance, remaining in the warm embrace of the bed, hitting snooze one more time, pushing the start of the day just a little further. But when you choose discipline, you choose transformation. You're making a conscious decision to build a better version of yourself, one small decision at a time. The discipline to rise early is a practice that doesn't come naturally to most. It requires setting aside the comfort of rest and stepping into the day with purpose. It's not just about waking up at a specific hour, it's about waking up with intention, knowing that each moment of the day can be shaped by the actions you take. There is something profoundly powerful about starting your day before the world demands anything of you. It is a time when you have full control over your mindset and your actions. When you rise early, you are taking ownership of your time rather than allowing time to dictate your choices. Discipline is the foundation upon which success is built. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. And the early morning hours are the perfect environment to cultivate that discipline. While the world around you sleeps, you can engage in activities that align with your goals, your health, and your personal growth. You are not distracted by the day's responsibilities, the noise of notifications, or the pressures of others. You are in control of your own time. And that control is what allows you to be disciplined in the pursuit of your goals. Discipline, however, is not about perfection. It's not about rigid schedules that leave no room for flexibility. It's about consistency, making the right choices again and again, even when it's hard. When you choose to rise early, you are making a commitment to yourself that you will take the actions necessary to move forward in life, regardless of how you feel in the moment. It's about choosing action over comfort, growth over stagnation. Every time you make the decision to wake up early, you are strengthening your ability to make disciplined choices in all areas of your life. The beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Just as small actions of discipline create lasting change, each early morning you rise becomes part of the larger transformation you are working toward. It's not the single action of waking up early that creates success, but the cumulative effect of making that choice day after day. Over time, this discipline begins to shape your character, your habits, and your mindset. You begin to understand that success is not a result of sporadic bursts of effort, but rather the result of consistent, disciplined actions taken over time. This consistency is critical because the journey to success is rarely a straight line. It's filled with obstacles, distractions, and challenges that can easily throw you off course. But discipline is what keeps you moving forward, even when the path is unclear or difficult. The early morning hours give you a head start on your day, but they also give you the mental clarity to face the inevitable struggles that will come. They offer you the time to prepare yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally, so that when the challenges of the day arrive, you are ready to face them with strength and resilience. There is a certain strength that comes from waking up early. It's a strength that is not dependent on external circumstances, but comes from within. It's the strength to choose to get up even when it's easier to stay in bed. It's the strength to push through moments of discomfort, knowing that growth often comes from the moments when we step outside of our comfort zone. By rising early, you are training your mind to embrace discomfort, to welcome challenges, and to stay disciplined in the pursuit of your dreams. In addition to the internal strength that discipline builds, waking up early also sets the tone for the rest of your day. How you begin your day often determines how you will approach the hours that follow. When you rise early, you are setting yourself up for success. You are laying the foundation for a day of productivity, purpose, and progress. You are not rushing through your day in a state of constant reaction, but moving forward with intention and focus. And as you move through your day with that discipline in place, you are reinforcing the positive habits that lead to long-term success. Waking early is not just about being productive, it's also about creating space for personal growth. In the early hours, there is time to engage in activities that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Whether you spend this time reading, writing, exercising, or meditating, the key is that you are investing in yourself. These early moments become the building blocks for a stronger, healthier, and more focused version of you. And as you invest in yourself, you are more equipped to face the challenges and demands that the day may bring. The discipline to rise early is also a reflection of the respect you have for your time. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have, yet it's easy to waste it, allowing the minutes and hours to slip by unnoticed. By rising early, you are showing that you understand the preciousness of time and are committed to making the most of every moment. You are not allowing the day to slip away before you've had the chance to take control of it. Instead, you are choosing to be proactive, setting yourself up for success by making the most of the time that is given to you. In the long run, this discipline to rise early pays off in more ways than one. It helps you develop the kind of character and mindset that is necessary for success. It helps you become more focused, more organized, and more intentional with your time. It teaches you to prioritize the things that matter most, and to avoid distractions that can derail your progress. And perhaps most importantly, it helps you build the kind of resilience that allows you to overcome challenges and setbacks with confidence. When you make the decision to wake up early, you are not just changing the way you spend your mornings, you are changing the way you approach life itself. You are choosing a life of purpose, discipline, and intentional action. You are building the habits and mindset that will carry you through the difficulties of life and allow you to achieve the success and fulfillment you desire. Each early morning is a step in the right direction, a step toward becoming the person you were meant to be. And as you continue this practice, as you continue to rise early, day after day, you will see the fruits of your discipline. Your confidence will grow, your productivity will increase, and your sense of purpose will become stronger. You will find that discipline is not a burden, but a powerful tool for creating the life you desire. It is not about making your life harder. It is about making your life more meaningful, more focused, and more aligned with your values. The discipline to rise early is a key to unlocking the best version of yourself. It is a practice that will serve you well in every area of your life. The early morning hours, particularly between 3 and 5 a.m., offer an unparalleled opportunity to reflect, to pray, and to realign ourselves with a higher purpose. There's something uniquely sacred about the time when the world is still and quiet. It's a time when the demands of the day have not yet begun, and when the noise of life has not yet reached our ears. In this stillness, there is an open invitation to connect, whether through quiet reflection, meditation, or prayer, to connect with a force greater than ourselves. This connection is vital, for it's in those quiet moments that we can seek guidance, strength, and clarity. And it's in that space that our spirits can be renewed. In the chaos of our daily lives, it is easy to lose sight of what truly matters. We become so caught up in the noise of the world, our jobs, our responsibilities, our ambitions, that we often neglect the most important relationship we can nurture, the one with our Creator, our higher self, or whatever higher force we believe in. It's easy to get lost in the tasks that demand our attention, to race from one thing to the next without ever taking a moment to pause and reflect. But the early hours offer us the rare chance to hit pause before the world begins to pull us in 1,000 directions. Rising early gives us the space we need to be intentional about our spiritual lives. We can use this time to quiet our minds, set aside the clutter of the day, and connect with the divine. Prayer and meditation become more powerful when they are practiced in the stillness of the early morning. There are no distractions, no appointments to attend to, and no pressures to meet. There is only peace, only the presence of God, and the opportunity to open our hearts fully. In those early hours, we can speak our hearts in prayer, express our gratitude, share our hopes, and seek wisdom for the day ahead. Prayer is not just about asking for things, but about aligning ourselves with our purpose and with the greater good. It is about humbling ourselves before a power that is larger than we are, recognizing that we do not walk through this world alone. It's about receiving the guidance we need to make wise choices, to navigate the challenges ahead, and to find peace amidst the chaos. When we wake early, we also have the chance to reflect. In the quiet of the morning, we can look inwardly, examining our thoughts, actions, and intentions. Reflection is a powerful tool for growth because it allows us to understand our own behavior, our emotions, and our motivations. It allows us to see where we may have fallen short and where we have succeeded, and it opens the door to self-improvement. Reflection is not about self-criticism. It is about self-awareness. It's about taking an honest look at where we are and where we want to go, and then asking ourselves what we need to do to get there. This time of reflection also allows us to align our thoughts and intentions for the day ahead. We can set aside the worries and distractions that often cloud our minds and focus on what truly matters. In the stillness of the morning, we can ask for guidance in our decision making, seek clarity in the midst of uncertainty, and prepare our hearts to meet whatever challenges may come our way. For many, the practice of early morning prayer and reflection is not just about the act itself, but about the habit it forms. Rising early to connect with something greater than ourselves shapes the rest of the day. When we begin our day with this practice, it centers us, grounds us, and equips us with the mental and spiritual tools we need to navigate the world. It shifts our focus from the external to the internal, from the noise of the world to the quiet of our hearts. It helps us approach the day with a clear sense of purpose, with gratitude in our hearts, and with the confidence that we are not alone in our journey. There is also a profound sense of peace that comes from starting the day with prayer and reflection. Life is full of challenges, obstacles, and uncertainties, but when we take the time to connect with our faith, we can face those challenges with a sense of inner calm. Prayer and reflection help us gain perspective, allowing us to see the bigger picture and to trust that there is a plan for our lives, one that is guided by love, wisdom, and divine purpose. When we start our day in this way, we are better equipped to handle whatever comes our way. We are more resilient, more centered, and more able to find peace amidst the storms of life. For those who practice faith, early morning prayer is often seen as a time to offer up gratitude. Gratitude is not just an attitude, but a powerful practice that shapes our hearts and minds. In the quiet of the morning, we can express our thankfulness for the blessings we have received, for the opportunities ahead, and for the strength to face the challenges of the day. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, and in doing so, it cultivates a heart of contentment and peace. But even for those who may not follow a specific faith, the practice of early morning reflection is still invaluable. It provides the same sense of calm, the same opportunity to connect with the deeper parts of ourselves. Whether through meditation, journaling, or simply being still, the act of slowing down and reflecting on our lives offers the space we need to gain clarity, set intentions, and open our hearts to new possibilities. It is a practice that encourages self-awareness, mindfulness, and presence. The time we spend in prayer and reflection between 3 and 5 a.m. is a gift, a precious moment in the day where we can reconnect with our purpose, realign ourselves with our values, and prepare for whatever comes next. It is a time when we can focus on what is truly important, when we can silence the distractions, and when we can hear the voice of wisdom more clearly. This time of connection, reflection, and prayer is not just about the specific acts we do, it is about the peace and clarity they bring. It is about quieting the noise so that we can hear the quiet whispers of guidance that come from within and from the divine. It is about opening our hearts to wisdom, to love, and to peace. When we make this time a priority, we make our spiritual health a priority. We acknowledge that we are not just physical beings navigating through life, but spiritual beings seeking purpose, direction, and connection. As we continue this practice, the early hours of the day begin to shape our hearts, our minds, and our lives. The benefits of early morning prayer and reflection extend far beyond the time we spend in the quiet. They permeate every area of our lives, helping us to live with more intention, more focus, and more peace. We become more aware of the beauty and blessings around us, and we approach the day with a renewed sense of gratitude and purpose. In the end, the early morning hours are not just about waking up early, they are about waking up to the divine, to our true selves, and to the life we are meant to live. It is in those moments of quiet connection that we find the strength, the wisdom, and the peace to carry us through the rest of the day. When we wake up early, we are given the gift of time to invest in ourselves, to grow, and to prepare for what lies ahead. The early morning hours are a sacred opportunity to nurture not just one part of ourselves, but our minds, bodies, and spirits. So often in life, we rush from one task to the next, juggling responsibilities without ever taking a moment to truly invest in our well-being. But when we rise early, we reclaim that time and use it to become the best version of ourselves. It is during these quiet hours, before the world demands anything from us, that we can focus on the most important aspects of our growth. Our minds thrive on learning and growth. The early morning is an ideal time to feed the mind with nourishing thoughts, whether that be through reading, writing, or reflection. This time of quiet solitude offers the perfect space to engage with new ideas and expand our understanding. When we read early in the morning, we give our minds the chance to absorb new knowledge without the distractions that typically fill the day. Whether it's a book that inspires us, a piece of writing that challenges us, or a passage that opens our eyes to new perspectives, early morning reading has the power to expand our minds and set the tone for the day. We are not just passively consuming information. We are actively engaging with the world and expanding our view of what is possible. Additionally, early mornings offer the opportunity to write. Writing can be a powerful tool for self-expression, creativity, and reflection. The quiet of the morning gives us the space to write freely, without judgment or pressure. Whether we are journaling to process our thoughts, planning our goals, or simply allowing our creativity to flow, the act of writing helps us connect with our inner selves. It allows us to articulate what is on our minds and what is in our hearts, giving us clarity and direction. Writing also allows us to track our growth, see our progress, and recognize the areas where we still want to improve. In these early hours, we can cultivate a habit of reflection and intentionality that will benefit us throughout the day. At the same time, our bodies also need care and attention. The early morning hours present an opportunity to focus on physical health and well-being. After a restful night's sleep, our bodies are ready to move, stretch, and be nourished, whether it's through exercise, yoga, or a simple walk. The early hours are a perfect time to get our blood flowing and our muscles moving. Physical activity not only boosts our energy levels, but also strengthens our bodies and supports mental clarity. It's a time when we can focus on our health without the pressures of the day weighing on us. When we move our bodies in the morning, we lay the foundation for a day of vitality and energy, allowing us to face challenges with strength and resilience. Beyond exercise, the early morning hours also provide the opportunity to nourish our bodies with healthy food. A nourishing breakfast can set the tone for the entire day, giving us the energy we need to tackle whatever comes our way. Preparing a healthy meal in the morning is an investment in our well-being, helping us feel more grounded, focused, and ready to take on the day. It's not about rushing through breakfast or grabbing something on the go. It's about taking the time to prepare a meal that fuels our bodies and supports our long-term health. When we take the time to nourish ourselves in the morning, we are more likely to make better choices throughout the rest of the day. But our growth is not just physical and intellectual, it is also spiritual. The early morning hours provide a sacred space for connecting with something greater than ourselves. Whether through prayer, meditation, or simply being present with our thoughts, these early moments offer the chance to align our hearts and minds with our values and beliefs. It is in the quiet of the morning that we can take a deep breath, pause, and reflect on what truly matters. Spiritual growth requires time and intentionality, and the early hours are the perfect opportunity to focus on this aspect of our lives. When we take the time to pray or meditate in the morning, we open ourselves to guidance, clarity, and peace. We can ask for strength, wisdom, and direction, and we can center ourselves in a higher purpose. This connection with our spiritual selves allows us to face the challenges of the day with a calm heart and a steady mind. When we invest in our minds, bodies, and spirits in the early morning hours, we create a solid foundation for the rest of the day. We are not just reacting to the events around us, we are proactively shaping our day with intention and focus. This investment in ourselves carries over into everything we do. We approach our work with clarity, our relationships with kindness, and our challenges with resilience. The early morning becomes a time of growth. A time to prepare ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually for the opportunities and obstacles that await. Moreover, the early morning practice of investing in ourselves helps us build momentum. The more we commit to these practices, the more they become ingrained in our daily lives. Each morning spent investing in our minds, bodies, and spirits compounds, and over time, the results are undeniable. We begin to see the benefits of this early investment. Greater focus, better health, more peace, and a clearer sense of direction. We may not see immediate changes in the first few days, but as we continue to rise early and prioritize our growth, we will begin to notice significant improvements in all areas of our lives. This practice becomes part of who we are, and it drives us to continue to grow and evolve. Additionally, the early morning hours help us develop discipline. Waking up early requires commitment and consistency, and in doing so, we cultivate the discipline needed to make positive changes in our lives. The discipline to rise early is a reflection of the discipline we bring to all other areas of our lives. It is in these early hours that we learn to prioritize what matters most. And as we continue this practice, we become more intentional in our choices. Discipline in one area of our lives creates discipline in others, and this positive momentum leads to lasting change. The early morning hours, though quiet and still, are filled with potential. They offer us the chance to invest in ourselves in ways that go beyond the surface. They are a time to nurture our minds with knowledge, our bodies with movement, and our spirits with connection. By waking up early and making this time a priority, we are choosing to invest in the person we want to become. We are laying the groundwork for a day of productivity, growth, and fulfillment. Each morning is an opportunity to build upon the foundation we are creating, to continue our journey of self-improvement, and to move closer to the person we are destined to be. In a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, the early morning hours are a gift. They are a time to slow down, to focus, and to invest in our own growth. When we choose to rise early, we are choosing to honor ourselves, to honor our potential, our purpose, and our dreams. Each morning spent investing in our minds, bodies, and spirits is an investment in our future. It's an investment that pays dividends throughout the day and throughout our lives. There is a power in waking up early that goes beyond the simple act of getting out of bed. The quiet of the early morning is unlike any other time of day. It is a time when the world is still, when the noise of life has not yet begun to pull us in 1,000 directions. In those precious early hours, we have the opportunity to establish a routine, a foundation upon which the rest of the day can be built. It is in this time of solitude that we can foster habits that will serve us not just for the day ahead, but for a lifetime. Waking up early allows us to take control of our time. In a world that constantly demands our attention, it is easy to feel like we are constantly reacting to the needs and demands of others. But when we rise early, we take ownership of the first moments of our day. These moments are precious because they set the tone for everything that follows. When we wake up early, we give ourselves the opportunity to focus on what truly matters before the world starts making demands of us. We can begin the day with purpose, with clarity, and with intention. This quiet time in the early morning is a gift. It is a chance to take a step back, to reflect on our goals, our aspirations, and the life we want to create. We can ask ourselves, what do we want to accomplish today? What is truly important to us? In the silence of the early morning, we can tune into our inner selves, away from the distractions that will inevitably arise as the day unfolds. The stillness allows us to connect with our true desires, helping us set meaningful intentions for the day. But waking up early is not just about setting goals. It's about cultivating habits that help us grow. The early morning hours provide the ideal time to engage in activities that nurture both our bodies and our minds. When we wake early, we give ourselves the chance to take care of our physical health before the busyness of the day sets in. Whether through exercise, stretching, or simply taking a walk, the early morning allows us to prioritize our well-being. Physical activity in the morning gets our blood flowing, clears our minds, and prepares us for the challenges of the day ahead. The body is refreshed and the mind is energized, giving us the clarity and focus we need to face whatever lies ahead. The early morning is also a perfect time for mental exercise. Whether we spend time reading, journaling, or engaging in some form of intellectual pursuit, we use this time to sharpen our minds. Reading books that inspire us, writing down our thoughts and reflections, or planning for the future. All of these activities foster personal growth. In these early hours, we have the opportunity to stimulate our minds, to learn something new, and to prepare ourselves intellectually for the tasks that await us. By making the early morning hours a time for mental enrichment, we set the stage for greater success throughout the day. In addition to the physical and mental benefits, waking up early also allows us to focus on our spiritual well-being. The stillness of the morning creates the perfect environment for prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection. This time allows us to connect with something greater than ourselves, to center our hearts and minds, and to align ourselves with a higher purpose. Spiritual practices can help ground us, giving us the strength and clarity to navigate the challenges of life. By taking time in the early morning to connect with our spirituality, we establish a sense of peace and calm that can carry us through the day. Furthermore, waking up early fosters discipline, a trait that is essential for success in all areas of life. The act of waking up early requires commitment and consistency. It requires us to overcome the temptation of staying in bed and to choose productivity over comfort. Discipline, however, is not just about following a set routine. It is about consistency in our actions. By choosing to rise early day after day, we cultivate the discipline necessary to achieve our long-term goals. The simple act of waking up early builds a foundation of self-control that extends to every area of our lives. This sense of discipline strengthens over time, compounding in ways we may not immediately notice. Each morning spent waking early adds to the momentum that carries us forward, helping us develop a routine that we can rely on. As we begin each day with purpose, focus, and intention, we build positive habits that become ingrained in our lives. We stop reacting to circumstances and start making intentional choices that align with our values. Through this practice, we learn how to prioritize what truly matters and eliminate distractions that pull us off course. Waking up early also teaches us the value of patience and persistence. In a world that constantly seeks instant gratification, the act of waking up early forces us to embrace delayed satisfaction. The quiet mornings may feel slow at first, but over time, they offer us the opportunity to develop deeper resilience and perseverance. As we establish this habit, we learn that success does not come overnight. It comes through consistent, focused effort. Waking up early is an exercise in delayed gratification, teaching us that small daily actions, repeated over time, lead to meaningful results. In addition to the discipline and patience it cultivates, waking up early also strengthens our sense of self-worth. When we make the conscious decision to prioritize our own growth, whether it's physical, mental, or spiritual, we send a message to ourselves that we are worth the investment. We are worthy of the time and attention required to become the best versions of ourselves. Each morning spent rising early reinforces this belief, helping us see ourselves as people who are capable, disciplined, and worthy of success. As we continue to wake up early, we begin to see the transformative power of these early hours. Our lives become more intentional, more purposeful, more focused. We are not merely going through the motions of the day, we are actively shaping our lives with every decision we make. The early mornings give us the time and space to reflect on who we are, where we're going, and what we want to accomplish. And we use this time to nurture our minds, bodies, and spirits. And as a result, we become stronger, healthier, and more balanced individuals. Ultimately, waking up early is not just about being productive or accomplishing tasks. It is about taking control of our lives and choosing to invest in the things that matter most. By making the early morning hours a priority, we create the conditions for lasting change in our lives. We set ourselves up for success by intentionally shaping the start of our day. It is through this practice that we develop discipline, build momentum, and create the foundation for a life that is rich with purpose and meaning. In the quiet of the morning, we find the power to become the people we are meant to be, and in doing so, we create a life that is truly worth living.